Next, selling the product. Potentially the hardest part, definitely the part that requires the most care and the most experience and knowledge and practice, really. So obviously this requires writing copy. And unless you've been doing copywriting, it's going to take you some time to learn. My best advice, there's been a few projects where we've hired copywriters and it did convert, it did very well, and obviously these guys are trained, they know what they're doing. I'm definitely not a trained copywriter. I've had sales pages that have converted very well, and I don't really have too many rules for writing my sales copy other than I just try to be very clear on what the problem is that they're facing, how I solved it, how our product solves it, what they're getting inside of the product, how it works after they download it if that's necessary. I just try to be as upfront as possible. And I also typically will do video. I'll get on camera and explain the product. So there's no real two questions about it. They know exactly what they're getting. And it also lets me kind of narrow in on my audience. There's a lot of people, like for example with PLR, private label rights content that I sell, it's not a huge segment of the market. It's a niche segment of the internet marketing community that wants PLR. So when I get on camera and when I write my copy, I can write it specifically for people that want PLR. I don't really have to persuade them on the value of PLR per se. They already know it. So I just focus more on what they're getting with this, why it's worthwhile, why this content will save them time or make them money or both, and usually some of the other benefits as well. Designing the sales page is another really big one. And actually, in the accompanying document that comes with this presentation, I'll give you some examples of sales pages. If you're selling it in an existing marketplace like the Warrior Forum or some kind of forum that lets you put up a sales letter, that's one thing, and you need to get used to writing or designing sales letters in that format. On the other end of it, and probably more commonly as you build your business, you're going to be creating sales pages on HTML sites or WordPress sites. So you might want to use WordPress themes like Optimize Press, which is a very popular theme. I use it quite a bit. And you want to make sure that the design of your sales page is appealing to the eye. It doesn't have to be super fancy, but if you start with something like Optimize Press that allows you to design and lay out a nice looking sales page that's clean, there's not a lot of clutter. There's not, you're not using 17 different fonts. Make it easy for your customer to read from one bullet point to the next, one headline to the next. Have some images that maybe explain some of your points. One of the sales page examples I'll give you actually has some stats on the market that our product was dealing with that kind of convinced people and said, "Hey, okay, I see a good reason to buy this thing." So that you want to take all of those design elements into consideration when you build your sales page. And the best way to do it is look at other sales pages that have persuaded you. What did you like about them? Was there a lot of color? Was there very little color? Was it simple? How was it laid out? Was it in sections, bullets? Were there headlines a certain color? Study that stuff and see what you like. See what's converting, more importantly, what products seem to be selling well, and try to model some of that. And in the beginning, if you're just starting as a product creator, you may not be able to hire a designer. You might be on your own to do it. So the best case, or best solution is keep it simple in the beginning if you don't have a lot of design experience, because the last thing you want to do is add like a week to your launch because you're just trying to make this perfectly designed letter with all fancy, and you don't really have the experience to do that. Um, Next, creating and testing your buy buttons. So you got to make sure you know how to do this. If you're going through PayPal as an example, make sure that you do a test purchase. And does the user get their files? And are you using software to do it? So one of the popular platforms right now is jvzoo.com. They allow you to create a buy button, but also manage stats and track affiliates, which we'll get into in the next couple of slides. But they also let you do test purchases to see exactly what the buy flow, the customer experience is like. So create your buttons and test them to make sure. And then also with the selling process comes upselling or downselling or cross-selling. You want to make sure that if applicable, if relevant, that you have upsells in place. A lot of the products I sell, we have natural upsells or upgrade offers that our customers appreciate. They're glad that we offer them, and we usually try to make it a really good deal so that they're happy to see these upgrade offers. So you want to take into consideration, I guess first of all, do your customers want additional stuff? You never know unless you ask them. So if you have things that will complement their first purchase, offer it. Give them the option to opt out, of course, but make sure you offer it. But also make sure that you take time and consideration and care into the sales copy on the upsell. A lot of people kind of make that an afterthought, but think about how you want to present your upsells or upgrade offers, and then also put as much care and design into designing those sales pages as well. Don't skimp out on that. It's not all about the front end offer. It's about the entire funnel, the entire process. Obviously, getting into sales funnels could be an entire slideshow in itself. So I'm just trying to give you the high level bullets here. And then, of course, finally, you want to make sure that you're adding people to your buyers list. This is usually done automatically. If you're using something like JVZoo or DL Guard, Download Guard is a great piece of software as well. Make sure that you have an autoresponder like GetResponse or Aweber set up. You've got a list built, and then you plug in your list name into that system so that when somebody buys, they go onto your buyers list. These are people that obviously trusted you enough to buy, and they very well may be interested in buying more from you in the future. Do not miss the opportunity to get them on your list and to mail them. And we're not getting into mailing either, but you want to make sure you mail these people, give them value, and also offer them other things because they might appreciate it.